Hello all and welcome back once more to the Sprucegate modeling. It's another installment of the YAK-3U video. So here we are. Today we will be starting with the base. Here you can see I have a foam layout. I like to sketch some stuff on it. And I have also put another piece of foam as a hill, carved out an area that the nose is supposed to have hit it. And now we will be taking our spackle or filler, and we will just be spreading it across the base to create contour and texture, as well as a sticking spot for our grit. So, this will take quite a while, increase the weight of the base, and I know that there are a lot of different ways of doing it, but basically this is just a texturing step, um, and you can use whatever you want here. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go pretty thick in some places, pretty thin in others. And this spackle is not exactly brand new, so it's a little bit dried out. But yeah, I'm doing my best. Again, this is the same technique that I used for the winter German basing, except on a much larger scale, and this will be spring. So yeah, cut to it almost done. I've put some grit on the base, and I'm doing the last bit, smoothing out a lot of the lines. I do want to keep some of these pretty jagged, because reference photos, it's pretty hilly, and pretty rocky in Central Korean forests. Although a lot of this will be covered by deadfall and things of the sort. We'll be going over trees and deadfall in the next video. Um, but yeah, here we are, all done with our spackle, and I'm just going to be, there's a hair in there. Yeah, we're just about done with that. Just going to make sure that everything is smoothed over. You will want to keep the basic shape that you have carved out of your foam. But yeah, here I am just smoothing some of it over. And now it is time to finish this bit up by gritting it. I am going, this is the crash site, so I'm going heavy on the grit here. You can see that right on the edges of it where I've already done. I've also gone pretty heavy, and on the edges I've gone a lot lighter. But yeah, you can go ahead, use your grit of choice, and just sprinkle a ton down here. This will all be exposed, and we will be using some special highlighting and dusting on this particular area. So that is it for the base today. And we are on to the plane with plate mail metal, much brighter metallic than our base color. We will be using this to streak at the bullet holes again. Will be a dry brush, and unlike the black where we're putting it in the hole and then dragging it down with our fingers, smudging here will be used purely as a secondary thing, just if the tail isn't quite long enough and there's too much paint. I'm also going to be putting this on some of the torn edges, just to simulate ripped metal. That's what this is for. Bits of metal that have been ripped or torn by the crash that are now exposed and have much less weathering than most of the exterior body. So yeah, here we go. This will be a bit of a time-consuming step, just like the black on the last step, especially because metallics can be quite finicky if they're not used right, and you really need to make sure that this is all good. This is a bit of an experiment. I've done this like maybe once before, if any. Obviously I've done similar stuff, but yeah, this is starting to look good. So yeah, I think that my probably preferred strategy, later dry brush, go over it a few times. It's a pretty subtle marking, but it also really does stand out, as you don't want it to be super, super bright. After all, this is supposed to look natural. So I'm just going to go around, do that on the rest of the plane. Again, be careful on this step. This can mess up the entire plane if you don't do it right. You may need to start over, and that is something you do not want at this step. So, hope you can see it there. Missed a few on the engine there. Hopefully that does give you a better view, right side on. Yeah, just right there. I think that this is really starting to come together now, with, the few highlights that we have done. So, there we go. We're just adding a little bit more to the edges now. I'm going to go really heavy on this broken off wing, as it is quite clearly a tear, and should probably just be, really highlighted if it isn't already, given the fact that it's missing half a wing. But yeah, hope you can see it there. It looks like there are some bits that have been torn away, and yeah, this highlight was really considering doing it, but it's turned out really well. I'm glad I did, and any and all destroyed or damaged planes I would suggest this for. Alright, so we're just about done there. Also going heavy on that tail section. We're going to be using our brown wash now. I'm thinning this down 1 to 1. And you'll notice that I have, in fact, attached the canopy. The first thing that we are going to be washing is the canopy, and let it collect here. The clear plastic pieces, especially with this kit, look really weird unpainted. So I feel like I have to do something with them. That bit came off there. But, yeah, you're going to want them to look grimy, especially given the fact that I'm looking for something that maybe it's a fresh crash, but it's also maybe a day, maybe 2 days old. So the bits that you're going to want to be going 1 to 1 heavy wash on, like I said, canopy. I'm also doing the edges, the broken edges, as well as the red bits. The red bits really need this. I know that they've been grimed up with the black, but it's really not enough. They need to look a lot more weathered than the rest of the plane, because red is a bright color, and I am not going for a super, super bright diorama here. And I'm also doing the inside of the cockpit. I do not want to build up gray highlights in there right now. And it needs a little bit of weathering. I think that the brown wash is the best way to go there. So, right around there, we are almost done with some of our base washes. These aren't targeted, obviously. You are not going to want to wash the entire thing in this. But now, it is time for the most fun part of the washes. A pin wash to panel lines. This, I love the effect that pin washes give. I'm not totally sure if everyone here agrees with me, but just the way that, like a panel liner, onto rivets and, literally any crevices, I feel like it enhances the model so much. It can also, I've used things like this as rust effects before if I use them really heavily. But in this case, we're not going to be doing that. So yeah, make sure to get every bullet hole, all the panels, panel liners, panel lines, I don't know what I'm saying anymore, and really any detail that you really want to be showing. I'd say that that's probably the most important thing with this. As this is the last bit of heavy washing we will be doing on this model, you want to make sure you get everything. So, just going to touch up some stuff there. Around the base of the wings, there's quite a bit of detail, and it would also be pretty shadowy. So I am going heavy in there. But now it is time for another fun bit, where I'm going to thin down the wash, probably add a few more drops of water, and I'm going to put it on the panels. This is kind of like an anti-panel fade. So, like I said, thin down this wash quite a bit. You do not want this to be as strong as the panel liner. You just want this to be a little bit of grime, unifying the colors a bit. And, I mean, we're close to being done with our plane now. Thank you so much for watching. There'll be more updates posted regularly.